Hi and welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about internal recruitment and how you can use MuchSkills to quickly identify individuals inside the organization that have the skills you need for a new role you have or even a current role. So let's get started. Now, first, let's talk about the benefits of internal recruitment. And I also want to highlight some things that are not maybe so good. And then I will show you how it works. But let's first the benefits. So internal recruitment is great. It is a really good way to boost retention and make people happy. I mean, imagine that you were suddenly asked and hey, like we are creating this new role and we think you're a good fit for it. I mean, it's just boosting all type of energy for that person. Also, it's really good for your organization because you can hire faster. I mean, you hire a person that already knows the organization, understands people, have everything in, great fit from that perspective. And of course, the onboarding time would be so much shorter and faster to get this new person into that role. And you save a lot of money. Recruitment is never cheap. But there are some pitfalls. Now, I mean, you're taking away this person from, some kind of place of work already. And this person is managed by somebody who's like built up this team and trying to handle things, and you're removing that person from that team. So just make sure that when you do this internal recruitment to kind of check a little bit internally, what is this person doing before you approach them directly? Then, of course, like if you're a smaller company or even a large company, sometimes it's a limited pool and we don't have that many people that we can talk to. Uh, an important pitfall that I really want to highlight is communication. Look, you can't just like, oh, I think you're a good fit for this role, and then, for some reason you don't communicate with this person properly and you don't tell them they're maybe not a good fit anymore, you find a better candidate and so. Look, it's really important. This person is working in your organization, are passionate, hopefully, and are there. Make sure to communicate properly what's going on each step, what are the timelines, when are we expecting to have this finalized? Don't leave somebody hanging out there. It's not nice. And of course, you have to make sure there are fairness and engagement. Like you have to do everything exactly like it was an external recruitment process. And I would actually even claim you should do it better. You need to make sure this is really, really good when you're doing this. Once again, you have to be careful about that not communicating well or people feel set aside or that is not fair or things like that. Perfect. But if you now feel like, yeah, let me have a look, see what kind of individuals are out there, what could be interesting for me, and let's see how we can use MuchSkills for this. So this is MuchSkills. You go to Team Org and you go to Analysis, and you can then define what you're looking for using AI. There are many different opportunities here. You can just type out the role you have. You can paste in your job role description. You could just simply type anything you want. So actually, this is nice. Learning and development specialist skills. So this is good here. Like we are adding a new role, and some of the key responsibilities are, and then we have to come up with something here. Nice training, train others, create training strategies, do a lot of presentations. Okay, maybe not the best here, but it's just a nice example. So even if you haven't defined it super well, it's still okay. Now I click the little OK button. AI will go here and they will like create a suggestion of text. So learning development specialist, I'll just call it like this, the actual role name. And then I say, okay, the list will introduce key essential skills, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that sounds nice. So I click save and continue. Now I want to highlight something here while the AI working. When you create this new role, nobody can see it. Like you have to actually actively say this should be visible for others. So right now, nobody can see this role. Is not visible for anybody. You can, take your time and define it. Perfect. So I asked the AI, and actually, it's amazing. This is like really, really good. Okay, instructional design, I think that's like an important skills to have. So how this works is that you have prioritized skills. These are the most important skills for this role, and remaining skills are, good to have, maybe good to have, like based on what AI can see, this is like what's the options here. Also, another thing I want to highlight is that we always use the skills in your taxonomy, your unique skill list. So whatever you have put in your unique skill list will be here. If there is some kind of skill that is not in your skill list, it will not be mentioned. So this means, for example, if you never had an L&D expert or something like that, those skills will maybe be missing. Okay, so but luckily I have added some skills because we have a lot of L&D experts. So here's instructional design, brilliant. Facilitate training delivery, yeah. Oh, presentation skills, we talked about that. Learning strategy, training needs analysis, general product management. I think that's super good. Constant contact, I think it's okay. I mean, maybe, but I don't want to add that as a skill. I think this person need high emotional intelligence, feedback, super important. Mentoring and coaching, absolutely, like they have to know that. Really good at communication. I think research is good. Storyboarding is very important. I think actually virtual collaboration as well. So I kind of added a bunch of skills and these are prioritized. As you can see, they're being added down here. And I could add all of them at once, like just click add all suggestions. Okay, perfect. Now let's have a look here and see some other things. So cultural intelligence, I think that's actually really important. I want this to be a good listener, empathy, good at interpersonal relationship, good at teamwork, writing creative copy, video editing actually is super nice. I want a proactive person, good at problem solving, good at organizing things. Okay, I think this is enough. Let me check. I've added 23 skills. So let's start with this so we can see what we have. Now let's imagine like, yeah, you used AI, but like, oh, there are some skills I would like to add. You can remove AI here. So there's like a little toggle, and then you can go back and it will show all the skills organization. So what could be really good here is that you could add some kind of software that you use, for example, or maybe there's some skill here you would like to add because it's important. Maybe this person needs to understand AWS or some technology or whatever it may be. I'm gonna add something special. I think it would be nice if this person know how to use Figma. So Figma is this like design software. I think that's really useful. So I'm gonna add that. I also think Microsoft Words is a good choice. So we're gonna add that as well. Perfect. So I added all the skills. Looks great. Very nice. So what you see here is that we are analyzing the entire organization. It will quickly assemble all skills and say, well, these are the different skills you have in the organization. This is how many people I'm analyzing and so on. So this is what it does. Then what you can do, this is relevant members. I can tap here and I can review then all the individuals that have the skills that I'm looking for. So it will show each and every person. It will also say in red, these are the skills the person don't have because there's always something missing. Huh? So both from prioritized and remaining. You can also see the skill level. So you can see here Rosie, she is a beginner in virtual collaborations, is intermediate presentation skills, and she's an expert instructional design. So this gives you a better understanding of each person and you can see how it looks like. You can also use these filters and different names. You can click here to do it by names. You can say, I want to see where people have most important skills, most expert skills, most intermediate, or they're very junior beginner. And then you can see how the list changes here. So if you want most expertise, this would be the person that is best fitted. That's me. Very nice. If you want skills, you can see here Pierre is actually a really interesting option here. Great at communication, virtual collaboration, instructional design. I mean, he looks actually like a really good potential recruit for this role. So that's very exciting for me. So I have a candidate or even maybe 2 or 3 here. I think this all looks nice. Also Florence is a good option. So I have some candidates. When I have these candidates, I can, if I want to share this list with somebody. So right now, nobody can see it. I want to highlight that. If you want to share with somebody, you can click here on the cog and you can add collaborators. So maybe I'm working together with Aubrey and Herman on this. So now I have given them access. And for them to be able to, don't click save, forget to click save. And for them now to see this list, I just copy the URL of this entire list and I send it to them and they can then go and review. So super easy to build and share. As you saw, I could do this in like seconds and minutes and I then get my full list. Now I want to give you some pro tips here. I could go in and I could actually modify for some things. You could, for example, use this filter. So you're like, yeah, this is great, but maybe this is location specific. Like you're looking for a person in a specific office. So I could tap here to filter out the list to only see people in my New York office. And you can also filter out to look for people in certain departments. So, but I need somebody in our New York office. And that makes a big change because now when I apply this, well, then Pierre seems to be a really good option for this recruitment. But I don't have that many people in the New York office. So as you can see, like he's like the best option. I can save this filter. So when my colleagues are reviewing this, they will see these 7 relevant members and they will then be able to also kind of have this, and we can have a discussion if this is a good recruit or not. Now, if I want to know more about Pierre, all I have to do is like click on his name, and I open up in a new window and I can review his profile. So I'm like, yeah, okay, this is Pierre. I can see all his skills. I can see how he looks like. Super nice. All his skills and talent and competence in different categories are here. So great way for me to get to know Pierre a little bit better. When it comes to this, then I'm pretty done here. If you then later decide that you want to make this role public, like you are going to publicize it, you can click on Launch List. So here you can see it's in draft mode. If you want to make it public, you need to click the launch list, and then you need to modify to everyone in Proto anything, and you will have it here. So this is how you build a new role from scratch. There are some details also here that you could change this prioritize skills. You just tap on this here. Now learning strategies are removed from prioritize skills, and here is now add. I like prioritize skills because it enables me to better kind of understand of all the skills, like what is really important, what is less important. So I can divide it, and it becomes very easy to do the analytics when I'm looking at relevant members. You can also use any of the current lists. If you just install MuchSkills, you will see there are many lists ready here. So you can tap on any role that you have created. You can tap on relevant members, and you will then see different individuals and their current fit to this, even though they are not a person that is a service designer. So you can look for potential service designers within the entire organizations, thousands and thousands of people, and see really good fit of individuals and what could be a potential internal recruitment. So you can reach out to these individuals and see how they're doing. When you have an individual like Ella here, for example, and you kind of like, I wonder who's managing Ella, where is she in the organization, and so on, you can always tap on Ella, and you will then see her profile. And what you will notice is that her manager is me, Daniel. If you want to see this in the org chart, just tap view in org chart, and you will see the org chart and how everything is connected. So you can see that Ella is actually, head of engineering, so maybe not the best recruit for our learning and development specialist, but really nice to see you can understand quickly the organization and how it's structured, like no matter how many people there are. So it's a good way for you to quickly figure things out. So this is how you can review a current role. And as you see, there are many roles. I want to highlight some other things. It is possible for you also to not only think roles, you can think other things as well. It could be for a department or for like a set of skills like leadership. So instead of looking for an HR leader or this leader, you could define leadership skills to identify individuals that are good, something called the leadership competence. And I have listed 33 of the world's most important leadership skills. And you can see all the skills here. I have highlighted some as extra important. Now, when I tap on relevant members, it will then show me individuals that have great leadership potential. And you can analyze these people. And this is extra good if you're like looking for the future leaders, if you are thinking about who should I send to different kind of leadership trainings and so on. Very good option. So this is a great way for you to look deeper into this. So this was a quick introduction in how you can use MuchSkills when it comes to internal recruitment. Now, I really want to highlight again, remember that there are some amazing benefits. There are also pitfalls and kind of things you should consider. So be careful. Don't just like throw yourself at some person that you want to recruit. Just double check first, where is this person located in an organization? Do talk to their manager and make sure that you communicate. Make sure that you are very clear and constantly following up with this person if you decide to contact them and do the internal recruitment. If you have any questions about doing all these things, remember that you can always contact us at MuchSkills. You can just click here in the bottom right and you can send us a message. So good luck, and I hope you will find the best candidates ever for the role.